Dear friends, grace and peace to you from God and the Lord Jesus. Amen. We heard from Isaiah in the 50th chapter about the tongue of a teacher, how it may sustain the weary with a word. Then we heard in the 3rd chapter of James that not many should become teachers because it's a hard road. And that's no surprise from our lessons today because we all stumble. All of us. All of us are sinful. We're all human. One of the ways that we tend to sin is with the wagging of our tongues. Glossa, the tongue. As we heard this morning in James, the tongue, while it's a small member, boasts of great exploits. We see it all the time in our culture. Those who think they're so great will say that they did the greatest. This is the greatest you'll ever see, you'll ever find. I am the greatest. It goes on and on and on. And then we find that the tongue is a fire. Not a good fire, but a restless evil. Iniquity, if you will. Itself set on fire by hell. Those are strong words in the New Testament church. But there are important words because here's some more that you just have read to you. No one can tame the tongue, a restless evil through deadly poison. No one, that is, no human being can, but God can. And therein lies our hope. Because, as you know, people love to wag their tongues. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, but Pastor, I'm a saint of the church. Or, yeah, but you know, so-and-so is such a saint of the church. Take a look at that. As we are wont to point out all the good, are we not also wont to point out all the bad? Saying, well, you know who they are. They're hopeless. They'll never amount to any good. Or, how can any good come from them? Kind of like as we've been hearing in the Gospels. Jesus, coming from Nazareth? What good can come from Nazareth? We love our gossip. Now, I'm not talking about telling the truth, some hard truths, when we have to speak out, as we heard in these words from the Canticle of the Turning, and we hear these other words of our songs today. You know, hard truths to speak out against injustice, to speak God's justice. But what we like to do, as humans, we love to gossip. That's right, men and women alike. Whether it's in the form of bullying, or whether it's the form of passing our judgment. You know, separating out those who are different than us. Those that we just don't like for whatever reason. As church people, we like to think, yes, but aren't we immune to that? Sadly, no. Because the tongue is a restless evil. You have to watch your tongue all the time, because even when we end church today, I'll guarantee you that tongues will begin to wag. Before you know it, either you or somebody else will speak about this or that, him or her, will speak in ways that are certainly less than uplifting, less than what Christ commands us to do. And then in the Gospel, in Mark, we hear a great example. Now Peter, from the very lips of Christ, is called Petrus. That means rock. He goes from being just Simon to now Simon Peter, the rock of the church. I'm going to found my church on you. And what does Peter do? When he hears the good news that Jesus has, oh, by the way, I'm going to go. And what they're going to do is that all the church and political authorities, I'm going to be rejected by them, I'm going to suffer from them, and they're going to kill me. But then I'll rise in 3 days. You know, he references himself by using that word, the Son of Man, the Son of Humans. And so what does Peter do? rock of the church? Does he rally around like any good, faithful disciple would do and say, I'm with you, Jesus, let's go, he says. No, he begins to rebuke Jesus. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Pastor, I never rebuked Jesus. Oh, really? You're telling me. Remember, God's here. So really, you're telling God that none of us, including yourself, ever tried to get Jesus to do it your way. Think about that. We've all had those times. We've all had those times when, in our hearts, we kind of want to tell Jesus what to do. And we want to direct Jesus because we want things to go certain ways in our lives. We're human. We like telling people what to do. How do you not like telling somebody what to do, especially if they're those kind of people? See a few grins and smiles. Mostly sheep. That is that human nature of us. Humans. That wagging tongue that before we know it, even sometimes when we have best intentions, that wagging tongue causes us more trouble than we'd like to imagine. Because before you know it, it's right out of our mouths. Past our lips, and we say things to others we wish we could take back. But in human realm, there are no take backs. And so immediately, Peter begins to rebuke Jesus, telling Jesus, well, this is the way it should be. In other words, God, this is how it's supposed to be. And Jesus responds. Now, I suppose Jesus could have said, now, Peter, you just don't come here. Let me give you a nice big hug. You just don't understand. Instead, Jesus says, Satana, Satan, get behind me. In other words, Peter, put away all those things that get in the way of what I just told you I'm going to do and the path you are going to have to follow like everybody else who comes next. All of us. The cross. Get behind me. Put behind you all those things that get in the way of following Jesus. Deny yourself. Pick up your cross, your star. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does this mean that after church you have to go out like I did and in your backyard area make your own cross and carry it around to work and to school? Well, the good news is no. I mean, if you want to, then it's up to you. I mean, I wouldn't stop you. I think you might get into trouble, though, maybe at work or maybe even at school, especially during gym class. I'm just saying. You might be poking some eyes out. Now, I'm going to say you're going to be pretty lucky in your lifetime. I don't think anybody here is actually going to have to go to a little cross and maybe sacrifice their lives for Christ. But that doesn't get us off the cross. No, the cross that you will bear, you're right in here. If you haven't taken it up yet, today is your lucky day. Deny yourself, take up the cross of Christianity, and follow Jesus. Now, that path is the way, the truth, and the life, as we heard in that song. That is a path for anyone who wants to follow. And it starts by denying ourselves, our selfishness. Once again, we like to have things that are all about us. I mean, really. Did anybody come here today carpooling in a van of like 10 or 15 people? Anybody do that? We want our things. We want our things. Not our things. We want my things. We want it at every level. We're human. desires to have things. That's not so bad, except when it gets in the way. And that's kind of the tough part about this. Because really to deny yourself means that when we do have our own things, if we're going to pick up our cross, we're supposed to do things to help all of God's people, to follow the example of Jesus. That's a different kind of path than what you hear in the world. It's a different kind of path than you find in this sinful and adulterous generation, where people like that are lifted up and are praised. Well, the only one we lift up is the one who was lifted up on a cross. Because he's the only leader. He's the only leader for you and me, for our hearts and our souls. This one is the Messiah. This is Jesus. And this is who we follow. When he says, follow me, it isn't just a wonderful idea. When Jesus says, follow me, I'm the Messiah, he means it. He reaches out. And unfortunately, there'll be times when every single one of us will be a little bit like Peter, if not a lot like Peter. We want to deny that Jesus. We want to follow other ways. We want to say, yeah, but the world really works in this way. And this is how it has to be. You know, if we're going to continue to have this wonderful America, well, we can't follow Jesus. I mean, look at the kinds of things he'd have us do. We'd have to be sharing with everybody. We'd have to actually make sure everybody has food, not just in our land, but in all the lands. We'd have to collectively be helpful together and respect one another. We would have to walk the talk. We would have to follow the Messiah, who, as we've heard through the last few weeks in the Gospel of Mark, does everything wrong according to human tradition. Tongues are wagging about him everywhere he goes. Oh yeah, there's a few times where they're saying, oh, he does great miracles. But in the end, we find out the majority of tongues are wagging against him. Because he wants to change everything. He wants to turn everything around upside down. He wants to change the world, and he wants his followers to do the same thing. To deny themselves, pick up their cross, and follow. When Jesus says, I am the way and the truth and the life, that's what we follow. When we're taught that to become a teacher of the Word, to share the good news, means to go from this and to turn around to this. That means being disciples of Christ. For the rest of the world, this is bad news. Because it goes contrary to everything that they're going to tell us. It's going to go contrary to everything they want you to be. It's going to be contrary to how they want you to treat one another, to speak to one another. Use your tongue in boastful ways. Use your tongues in ways that will put down others, because that's going to lift you up. Use your tongue to be judgmental, because God doesn't have any kind of say. That's what the world tells us. And then there's the Messiah. This is what the Messiah tells us. It is the best message that's ever been brought to the world. Now, it's up to us.